Hey, this is Anthony with RevZilla TV. We can watch, decide, and ride. Welcome to our detailed breakdown of the new Held Cadora Gore-Tex jacket, available at RevZilla.com. One color only, svelte from Germany. This is the Held Cadora. And if we look at it, this is an apex predator within their four-season sport touring line. You're gonna see the Quattro Tiempo logo that breaks its way in. True four-season, and you're looking at a Gore Pro shell, meaning the outer shell, which is lightweight and done in Cordura. This jacket actually has the distinction of being 2 to 3 pounds lighter than just about everything else in its category, but it has that Gore lining, which is going to be laminated to the outer shell, waterproof, breathable, guaranteed for life, and again, you're getting that four-season complement. Enough venting for the summer, and everything's closed down, and everything's in the place it's supposed to be, so when you get into those wintertime riding months, you're gonna be warm, you're gonna be comfortable, and you're going to stay dry. Now, the key theme here, we look at it, really is sport touring. We see a lot of Gore-Tex north of $800 adventure jackets in the market, period. And what they don't do, they don't have this felt line, they're not blacked out, they're a lot heavier. This is Gore-Tex and Cordura throughout. And Cordura is a mixture of materials that are going to be solidly abrasion resistant. Now, they're not Gore Talisman. They're not going to be super fabric everywhere. They're not going to that overkill adventure place, which adds 2 to 3 pounds of this jacket. And again, if you're hypermiling, that 2 to 3 pounds over a long distance, you're going to feel it. And that's one of the claims to fame here is lightweight. The other claim to fame here on the Held Cadora, which also has a full sleeve removable thermal, by the way, if you're thinking, well, how's it gonna cover me in the winter? The other claim to fame here, and the big thing to call out, is the armor. And you're gonna see that it's using, for the first time from Held, the Held Cloverleaf SaskTech armor. It's a proprietary material from Held, partnering with SaskTech. Notice it's Velcro. This is an elbow and a forearm. It's going to be adjustable. And we've seen SaskTech before. It's molecular. It uses that crystalline lattice structure. You introduce an impact, it becomes rigid, it disperses the energy. But what's nice about the Cloverleaf, besides the fact that it offers fuller coverage, is that it is temperature stable and it passes the CE2 rating. So the first iteration of SaskTech was a little bit less temp stable. Again, if it started to get cold, it got a little hard, and it was CE level 1 rated. The Held Cloverleaf armor from SaskTech is now CE level 2 rated in Europe. There are only a few manufacturers that actually have that as part of their repertoire. Notice it's ventilated, it's going to be green, and one of the cool things you're going to see about it is it tends to be asymmetrical. And you'd really see that on the shoulder, to where it's not just the cap, it actually covers the scapula as well. And we turn Bernie backwards, we're going to show kind of the outline of where it goes. So again, nice big upgrade. There is no back protector included, and that would be one of my nitpicks here. Is it making this top-end investment? I would love to see them put the SaskTech back protector level 2 in the jacket stock right off the rack. Now, let's talk briefly about fit, and then we'll walk through all the other nuance. Bernie to my left, newcomer to RevZilla TV, 6'3", 210, 44-inch chest. He's an average build. He's wearing a size large. Now, if you looked at the Held size chart for the Cadora, you would see that it would put him in an extra large. This is my call out. This is why you're watching this video. Go a size down. Every one of the Held Cadoras have a svelte fit, but they fit a full size large. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna buy a size lower than what the size chart says. So use the size chart, 44-inch chest would put him in an extra large. Go a size down. He's wearing a large. That's how you're gonna do this. Now, he has the thermal lining in. He has plenty of room to move. And again, we've tested this across the range. Keep that in mind. This jacket fits one size large based on the size chart. There, I've said it, I won't say it again. Actually, I can't promise you that. Remember too, if you're concerned about fit, we're gonna ship for free over 39 bucks. And as always, click our logo, subscribe to us at RevZilla TV on our YouTube channel. Leave me your comments, your questions, your feedback about the new Held Cadora, or you could just comment on Bernie's ever so trim and svelte beard that matches this jacket quite nicely. Now, diving back into the jacket, let's talk through the bone stock things that you're gonna expect from a jacket at this level. We talked about Gore Pro. Again, it's laminated. It's the Gore on-road test, which is the most stringent degree of Gore waterproof breathable testing. And if you're thinking about, well, why Gore-Tex over something else, it's waterproof, breathable, guaranteed for life. If it ever springs a leak, Gore will repair it. And I will say this, it also allows the highest degree of breathability. So if you're working hard, if you're adventuring, standing on the pegs, and you just want to be Night Rider in your blacked out gear, the Gore-Tex is going to allow that perspiration to come out. If we look at some of the other things, bringing it together, remember we talked about the full sleeve thermal liner, fully removable, 80 grams. That's nice and solid, but it's also Primaloft, which is a third party. They're using key components from other manufacturers where they need them. They're not trying to build in a generic thermal. So again, you're investing in that top of the food chain performance. If we look at 3M Scotchlite, reflective panels, you're going to see it throughout the rest of the jacket itself. And again, if we just look at it visibly, see a mixture of materials here. This Gore-Tex is It's laminated with the Cordura, rather, laminated with the Gore-Tex. Again, it's that lighter weight factor. It's not as crunchy. It's not as heavy. It's going to be a little bit, from my standpoint, looking at this jacket, it's a great option for something like a multi-strata. If you're on a 12GS, you may or may not go here. You're probably going more of that adventure route. Now, a few other things, and this is where we get into the details. Notice, they're using the way that this collar is done. Notice neoprene throughout. It's YKK zips all the way through. Rare earth neodymium magnets, keeping everything in place of Velcro in areas that might bite you. Now, this is one of the nitpicks for me. I love this feature. I love seeing the neodymium magnets make their way in, but what I need is a neodymium magnet on the backside here so that I can keep it open when I'm riding in the summertime with it open. They missed on that one, but again, nitpick. Notice the full-scale neoprene coming all the way up. If you work your way down the front side, you're going to see big pockets that also have magnet closures as well as Velcro, and notice the way that these are designed. These are fully waterproof pockets. No hand warmer pockets here, just cargos along the front. Notice the bar tack stitching. Again, a lot of degree of detail put into the way that this is constructed. You're going to have tape seams using the Gore-Tex lining. Again, that Gore-Tex membrane baked into the outer shell. Adjustability along the hips, adjustability along the biceps. Now, I will say this. One of the things we've conspicuously not talked about yet is the ventilation scheme, and we're calling this a four-season jacket. Now, the venting on this jacket is big, but it's few. And what I'm going to show you is along the front, your main ventilation point is actually down the center line, and that's why I want to be able to magnet this bad boy back. But if you open it up, it exposes the ACS, the air circulation system, which is a massive multi-panel vent system that goes, or mesh system, that goes all the way down the center line. And you'd ride with this jacket open to give you that airflow through the front all the way up and down your torso. There's also a single massive vent along the back. But what I will call out is if you're riding with a windscreen, it's going to block that frontal exposure. Great in a 3/4 position, great sport touring, but if I'm behind a big beefy 12GS windscreen, that's going to block a lot of that airflow that would be coming down my center line. I wish they would have done either a shoulder or an outer bicep catch if I had a windscreen to catch the air scooping around. Again, that's my other nitpick, my other real nitpick with a jacket that other than that is really well put together. Now, if we look at it, we have our ventilation scheme here. Notice that unzips and it actually tucks back. I'm going to show you that when we completely get into the guts of the jacket after I work through some of the exterior pieces. But there's your main venting along the front. You'll also notice too, you might say, well, isn't that a weak point for water behind the main connection panel? And what you have here is I'm unzipping or I'm unvelcroing it. There's actually a rain gutter that I had just folded back, which if you look at it now comes into place, which you can tuck away, and that rain gutter is giving you that full Gore-Tex extension that comes along the front, which is a really nice touch, and that's going to allow you to cover that weak point, which is your outer YKK zip. Now, Bernie, turn and face that away for me. If we look at it across the side, they gave you these nice style cues coming down, and this is where you get into that big piece of SaskTech Cloverleaf Level 2 armor in the shoulder, but it also makes its way all the way back here. So notice that shoulder armor starts and it works its way all the way around. It's a massive piece covering you on the scapular. If we look down the right side, basic elastication, you get into your elbow. Remember, it's adjustable, cloverleaf all the way down to the forearm. And we're going to remember to talk about the cuffs too, because they're set it and forget it cuffs when we come back around to the front. Now, if we look at the inside of this arm here, underneath where my hand is, you're noticing there's no stretch panel across the shoulder blade. And that's because you're stretch Gore-Tex all the way down. So again, they gave you that upgrade, which is a stretch Gore-Tex panel on the inside of the arm, working its way back to the shoulder blade to give you that increased range of motion. Now, we talked about the cinching along the side. Notice plenty of room to go here. Nice big TPR pull on that. Working our way down, it is going to be hip length. It's not going to be that longer length 3/4, but it will give you the hip length, which is more of that adventure cut. And you can see a little bit of the drop seat too, because you're going to get a bit more coverage. Notice the reflectivity worked into the back. Two basic snaps along the back as well. Turn backwards for me there, Bernie. Now, if Bernie stops right there, I'm going to start at the collar and work my way down. Notice it is a high collar, and it's going to be a line collar. It's going to be nice and fleece lined, very, very comfortable, but it's got neoprene at the top. It's designed to not chafe you when it's wet and give you full coverage in the rain. Moving down the back. Now I get into my big back vent here. Again, there's my main exhaust. So intake in the front, exhaust out of the back. Like I said, I wish there was a couple more vents on this bad boy, but notice it's flanked by the reflective piping, or this 3M Scotchlite tape rather, that's going to do a great job at making you visible at night, and you work your way down. Remember, it's coming with a foam pad. It does not include the SaskTech Level 2 back protector. That is an upgrade after the fact. Held, if you're listening, I wish it came stock right off the rack with that, because that would add to the flavor and it would add to the fact that there's a little bit more bang for the buck when you're investing over that $800 mark. Now, If we look across the back, you're gonna see how far down that seat comes. 360-degree zip, absolutely integrated here. If you wanted to link this up with the Monero pant or one of the other Gore-Tex pants from Held, and you can see it's a very simple, classic line. Come back around to the front. I'm actually surprised they didn't go with a cool black or a TFL cool on this, because it is black. There are materials out there allow this Cadora to have that reflective or that UV reflecting quality that keeps it a little bit cool. Wow, you're all wrangled dangled. We might as well open up to the front. Actually, before I dive into the guts on this guy, let's talk about the cuff. Notice details here, neoprene across the cuff, YKK zip that goes all the way up. Notice it's a back, the Gore-Tex behind the cuff, and then you also have the adjuster here. So remember, in and out, easy with the zipper, but then tuning it with that Velcro panel. That's the set it and forget it factor. Again, allowing you to have a little bit more of that comfort and those little features that are going to allow you to enjoy your ride a little longer over a lot of miles. Now, if we open it up from the front here, let's open up this gray zip. Let's open up our ACS system. Now we're into the guts. And notice as I open it up right there, you see the secondary gray zipper. And what I can do here, we'll see how good I can get this on the first shot, is if I'm not using my ACS vent, if I'm riding in the fall or the spring or the winter, what you can do is you can lock this guy back and out of the way. So notice, just like that rain gutter that would tuck away in the front in the warmer times of the year, if I'm not using my ACS, it folds back. Now come in here really tightly. Really fleecy, nice finish on the collar that's nice and high. And notice it's baked into the jacket. It doesn't remove with the thermal. You're also going to see 8 big pockets on the inside. 4 on the thermal, 4 on the liner itself. So Napoleon pocket, grommet for your music. Notice moving down here, this is an 80-gram thermal. Again, that's your Primaloft. And you can see nice big patches or big flaps here that have Velcro. Again, it's fully finished, and there's our 360-degree zip that works its way all the way down. Now, if I open up, it's a circumferential zip. Go this way, open that up for me, Bernie. We've already started to. If you open up your thermal lining, there you go, and look at the inside here, notice it's your spot tracker or cell phone pocket done in neoprene along the left side. More pockets on the inside. It's actually using CoolMax on the inside of the jacket. CoolMax is a wicking material typically found in high-end helmets. They're using it throughout. So if the thermal's out, if you're riding in the warmer times of the year and you have your vents open, you're gonna sweat. It's a jacket designed to be put through its paces. The exterior of the jacket, that CoolMax liner, is gonna be wicking sweat away, moving it towards the Gore-Tex liner and helping it evaporate out through. And that evaporative cooling effect of that sweat being wicked away actually stands to keep you cooler while you're riding and while you're more active. Again, fully finished. They've really been thoughtful in an extreme way, knowing that you're making a massive investment to get to this level. And again, they're nailing that lightweight sport touring Gore Pro shell with all the features for really that 3 to 4 season rider with a distinctly European feel, but it's not overly aggressive. You can shut that bad boy down. So remember, the next step in your journey within the Held line, I hope you've absorbed it all. I hope you understand how it fits, how you'd use it, and how you'd put it to work. At the end of the day, meant to look cool, but more importantly, meant to keep you comfortable and keep you protected in long distance, wow, that was fast, long distance riding scenarios. The next step in your journey, though, is to click right here, read other rider reviews of the new Held Cadora. Remember, you don't have to take my word for it. As always, we'll ship for free over $39. And if you want to talk to a gear geek, see us at RevZilla.com or 877-792-9455. Thanks for watching our detailed breakdown. Remember, subscribe to us on the YouTubes. I'm Anthony. We'll see you next time.